Hi, welcome everyone to Agora session on how to build a video chat app without writing any code. We're just going to wait a couple of seconds for people to join, and then we're going to dive into um, developing our own application and then discuss how it works and the like. So for anyone who's not super sure on what we're doing here, we're going to have like an hour session. And by the end of it, I promise you, if you follow closely, you will have your own production ready, fully featured video chat application that's completely customized based on your requirements. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the session and let's jump into it. So, quick info about myself. I am Akansh Arora. I'm a developer evangelist at Agora. I'm part of the developer relations team. You can find my socials here. I usually work on documentation, projects, and blogs for developers. So if there's anything that you want help with when working on the application that we're talking today, or anything about Agora in general, you can reach me and contact me, and I'd be happy to help. So quick agenda for today's workshop. We'll get started with the Agora platform. So in case most of you wouldn't have an Agora ID, we'll quickly go ahead and create a new ID for us so that we can use that in our projects. Once we've done that, we'll go through what RTE App Builder is, discuss a little bit about quickly what the high level overview of App Builder is, what it does before we start and build our own app. We'll go through the process of customizing it, building it, and even deploying it to, like, say, Vercel. And then we'll take in questions while things are building. And if we have more questions, we'll try to squeeze in some time towards the end. And in case we have some extra time on our hands, I'd love to show you some code and show you how you can even customize it to a level that's not supported by the GUI yet, for example. One quick note, all the links I'll use throughout the workshop are available here on tiny.cc/mlhagora, MLH and A capital. Let me paste that in the chat as well. And another thing that I'd really request everyone to do is, while we're discussing about Agora and the app builder, please grab a copy of Node.js and Git from the links mentioned. They're also available on the shortened link. And in case you do not have Node or Git installed, it's super simple. Just go to the link and get the binary for your operating system. And those are the two things that we need as prerequisites. Everything else we'll walk together and we'll go through. So let me just quickly share the link on chat. I've sent the link. Hopefully you guys can see it. Let me also show it here. And yeah, let's move on. So what is Agora and why are we here? Agora is a leading video and voice service provider. So if you're a developer and you want to build a real-time engagement experience, be it video, voice, or live streaming, your first option is to build everything yourself, which would mean that you would be deploying thousands of servers throughout the globe to maintain latency, scalability, and all of that. Which isn't feasible for an average developer working on a small hobby project, for example. That's where Agora comes in. It empowers developers to deliver rich in-app experiences where you can embed voice and video along with real-time recording, live streaming, and messaging. We've tried our best to make the API super intuitive, give you as much documentation as possible, and build a good developer experience when you're working on a real-time engagement app. And a part of that approach for us is the app builder. So what is the app builder? It's simply put a way or a tool for you to customize and build a feature complete RTE video conferencing app that we've been talking about for so long. The idea behind this is if you're a product manager and you're not super confident with code, or if you're just a normal developer who's lazy like me, having this utility or having this tool lets you get started with the platform without having to write any code, which I'll show you in a bit. And talking about what makes this special is something that we're super proud of, is that it builds to 6 different platforms. So the app that we're building today is not just a web application or a website. The same code base can be deployed to iOS, Android, and even build native apps for Windows, Mac, and Linux. So all of this is built from the same code base. So say you wanted to build a feature on top of this and add like a whiteboard support for your application, you wouldn't have to do it 6 different times on 6 different platforms. You would just do it once, and it would work out of the box on all those platforms that you're targeting. Other than that, it's there's this few things that we think really make it special or really make it feature complete. So stuff like screen sharing, messaging, PSTN dial-in. If you have bad internet, you can dial in and connect to the session using your phone. User management, cloud recording, and all of these features that you would expect from a video chat app. All of those are already built out, and the project is in beta. We're targeting release very, very soon. Let's quickly check if there's any questions. Everyone's up to speed. Someone's asking where can we access the slides for future reference. I'll probably put them up somewhere, or I'm pretty sure this video is going to be live on YouTube after the session, so you can look at the YouTube video for that. I think that should be a good place. Perfect. So let's begin. Let's go to console.agora.io and make an Agora account. So I'm going to stop screen sharing and then share my screen again. So let's see. Let's pull this up. And hopefully you can see my screen. So if you go to console.agora.io, let me put the link in chat. Is everyone able to access the link? Yes, Shivam, you did not miss anything. We're just starting out. We're actually on the first step. We're creating an Agora account. The link is console.agora.io. Hopefully everyone's here. You can use OAuth. That means you can use your Google account or GitHub account to log into the platform, or you can just use your email as well. I already have an account, so I'll just hop onto that. Once everyone's registered, maybe drop a thumbs up in the chat and we'll move forward. Oops, let me just screen share again. Sorry about that. So the first time you open your console, it might look slightly different. I have a few projects already, so you'll probably see something like this. And you can create a project, and it'll show you how easy it is to use the SDK. Don't worry, we're not writing any code. This is for when you're building an application from scratch. And you can go through the onboarding process if you like. Otherwise, you can just skip past, and yeah, we'll probably be on this stage. Then we'll go to project management. This is on the sidebar towards your left. Once you click on project management, you will have multiple projects listed. Hopefully you guys have caught up. Let me just make sure everyone's here. Someone's asking what's the use of Node. We're building a React Native project. So once we get the source code and we start building it, we require Node.js to run the build process for it. That's why we need to have Node.js installed. Hope that answers your question. So you can create a new project. Let's call it MLH. Use secured mode. That's the one in green, which uses app ID plus token. Click submit. It'll take a second and click on edit. So this will take you to your project tab, and we need two pieces of information here. So once everyone's here, just drop a thumbs up. That would be great. Someone's asking, isn't it same like Firebase? We're not actually building a Node backend or like a Node application. We're just using the tooling in Node to build our React Native app. So it's slightly different from Firebase. So once you're here, I'd request you to copy your app certificate and your app ID and keep it somewhere safe. Just copy and paste it on a notepad or a sticky note somewhere, and we'll get back to these two values in just a second. So let me do that. Cool. Is everyone here? So Harsh Sharma is asking how to proceed after sign up. Once you signed up, on your left, there'll be a sidebar. Click on project management. Once you're here, you can click on create and create a new app. Please make sure you're using an app with an app ID and a token. It's the option in green. This here, your project name can be anything you like. Hopefully that answers your question. Leo Shrey is asking, what's the use case? We're building a video chat app, and we'll be using the account and the app ID for our application once we're on the console. We'll discuss that in just a bit. Someone's just started. In case you've joined right now, we haven't done much. We've gone to console.agora.io, created a new account, and we've created a new project and gotten our app ID and token. Once you have that, you will let's actually begin by going to appbuilder.agora.io. So I'll paste the link in the chat, and I'll also wait a few seconds for people to catch up. I see a few people asking for some time. This is the website we're on. I'd love like a thumbs up or an on speed or something so that I can understand if everyone's caught up. You can pick any use case. You can just pick web, or you can pick whatever like the first option is there. It doesn't matter. You can pick any use case, and that's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. Once you've created a new project, click on edit, and please select your app ID and your app token and store it on like a notepad, and use secure mode. That's another question that we got. And once you have your app ID and your certificate, that's all we've done. We'll move forward once everyone's caught up. You can write anything in your project name. Just call it MLH or MLH test. And Yeah, I think we're good to go. So this is the exciting bit. This is the part I'm most happy about. Um, Showing you guys and like demonstrating the app. So once you click on create or create app on the link that I shared, let me put that on the screen again. You'll see the screen. Um, is everyone here? Awesome. So you'll see the screen where you can customize your application. So on your right, this preview is what your website or your deployed app would look like once you've built it. So for example, let's say I wanted to be called MLH local hack day. I can type that and let's get hacking, for example. Now, for example, I wanted the illustration to be one from local hack day. That's super simple. I can just copy any illustration that's on my system. I have this one right here. I can select that and that gets updated. Also, you can change the logo in case you don't want the Agora logo in your app. You can just pick the logo of your choice. And if you're not happy with the color scheme, you can pick one which is more in line with your brand. So I think that's looking pretty MLH themed. What do you think? So the link is on the screen. Hopefully you guys are here, and let's give a project name. So we have these tooltips towards the side in case you're confused on what a project name is. It's simply an identifier, and if there's anything that you're wondering about through any of the fields in the form, you can get help hovering over the tooltip. And let's call it MLH. Let's call the display name as MLH as well. You can even pick your own custom background. We also specify what size is recommended. We're just going to stick with the default one right here. You can customize your heading and your subheading. We did that right here. Now coming to the config, this is where we need access to our app ID and app certificate. So you type in your app ID in the first field and your app certificate in the second. Cool. I see a few people who've just joined. Yeah. I'm going to repeat the steps over again. Don't worry. We haven't done much. We just created an Agora account, set up a project, and got our app ID and our app certificate. Maybe if I can request William to get there's a blog for setting up an account. Maybe if William can search and put that in the chat, that can help some people. Once you've gotten your app ID and your app certificate, let me just go over the app builder bit. So in general, we can specify and configure our customization. For example, if I want a different color, I can select that here. If I want a different logo or illustration, I can pick that here as well. Hopefully everyone's up to speed. You can pick one of these tabs and read through. So the display heading is what you see here. We can call this anything you like. Let's stick with local hack day for now. Does that answer your question? How do you get rid of an image after it's been uploaded? Just refresh. So if you refresh the page, it'll go back to the default. You can start fresh. Can we get back here once selected? Yes, you can. Use case for console.agora. You can pick any use case. Don't worry about it. Just pick the first option that's available. I hope that answers your question. Let's move on. So the app builder also supports OAuth. Like you can use Google OAuth for people to be authenticated, and only then they'll be able to create a meeting. This adds a layer of security. If you want, you can copy in your Google credentials. We're not going to do that right now. Um, Once you've added your app ID and your app certificate here, you can go to the video call tab where we can discuss which features and what the requirements for those are. PSTN dial-in requires a TurboBridge username and password. You can read through the documentation here to obtain these. We're going to skip that for now. Pre-call screen gives you a place for you to look at your live preview and select your mic and your camera before jumping into the call. Let's keep it selected. The chat gives you access to the chat. So this is what it would look like. You have options for both group chat and private chat. Cloud recording lets you store the video preview onto your AWS bucket. That's You can find the documentation for this on the docs page as well. We're going to skip that for now. Screen sharing lets you share your screen. So something I'm doing right now, you would get a pop-up and you can share your screen. And there's video encryption. So in case you have something very specific and you want to enable packet encryption, you can select that. We're just going to skip that for now. Platform, you can select all the platforms that you want to build for. Let's select all of them. And you would see the finish page. Let's just check if everyone's up to speed. Someone's asking how to get Agora ID. These are the steps. Small correction here, please select secure mode instead of testing. Once you've selected the project, you'll have access to the app ID and the app certificate. So if you've done that, now we can start building our application. Click on download source code. It'll give you your project name.zip. Hopefully you can see that here. And once you have access to that zip, you can pick all of the platforms or you can skip platforms if you like. It's completely up to you. Someone's asking about the platforms. And for example, I have selected everything. It's optional. You can select any of the platforms that you like. Someone's asking what's in video call options. You can select which features you want. I've selected these because these are super straightforward to set up. If you want access to more features, like for example, PSTN dial-in, you can read the documentation and get access to these credentials and set up PSTN as well. Gaurav, you can just click next and complete the onboarding. And then once you log into the console again, you will be able to create a new project. Yes, we have to download the source code now. So clicking on finish, click on download source code, you'll get a zip file. And once everyone's caught up, we'll see what to do with that zip. Sounds good. Let me also share the build guide for App Builder. So in case anyone's missed out on a step, you can read through the build guide, and we have in-depth documentation, and hopefully that can answer any of your questions. Just give me a second. This is what the build guide looks like. Pasting that in chat. Shrey, you can edit the general settings later, but it's not recommended because it involves editing the config.json. So if you're super comfortable with code, you can. It's possible. But if you're just starting out and don't want to run into code, you can just open the console and create a new project. That's completely fine. Yes, you should deploy to Heroku as well, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So once you're on this screen, you can click the Deploy to Heroku button. It'll open on a new tab, and this is what it would look like. So you can call your app name anything that's available. So let's call it MLH Agora for me. You can call it anything you like. Is everyone up to speed? Prateek, you will need the app ID. Otherwise, the build will fail. You cannot continue without having an app ID. It's how the application verifies your identity when using the Agora service. Um, Joy, you can find your app ID and certificate when you create a new project on the Agora website. I can share the link. So if you're on if you've clicked on deploy to Heroku, this is the page you would be seeing. Once you're here, you don't have to do anything or change any of the configurations. Just click on deploy app. Just make sure that your app name is unique and available. This will take a few seconds, and it'll deploy your app on to Heroku. If you're comfortable doing DevOps, you can even deploy to a different service. This is just the one that's easy to set up for now. That's why I'm using it. Yes, I can repeat the Heroku steps. So once you are on the finish step on on appbuilder.agora.io, there's a button to deploy using Heroku. Once you click that, this is the web page that you would see. In your app name, just enter anything that's available. It can be any string. The first alphabet should be small. And once you've done that, go to the bottom of the page and click on deploy app right here, and give it a few seconds for it to build the backend. Hopefully that answers your question. Yes, you will have to log into Heroku using your own email address. Using Gmail is perfectly fine. Awesome. So once you've gone ahead and deployed your app to Heroku and it's processed building your app, you'll get a URL. You can see there's stuff happening in the backend here. It's building and deploying an instance. So while that's happening, let's quickly go over and extract our zip. So let me reshare my screen. Um, this is my zip. Once I click that, I get access to this folder. Let's move it to the desktop. And you would have a folder called Agora-App Builder. This is what it looks like. Go into that folder and open a terminal here. If you're on Windows, you can use CMD. If you're on Mac or Linux, you can just use the default terminal. So once you're inside the Agora app builder directory, also we can see that we've successfully deployed to Heroku. And what we need to do is open the config.json. Let's do that here. You can use any text editor of your choice. We need the backend URL link. So we can obtain that by clicking on this button called View. Hopefully you can still see my screen. And in your config.json, just copy that link onto the backend URL. I'm sorry, I just realized you can't see my screen. I'm going to screen share. Hopefully you can see my screen now. Sorry about that. Can you see my screen now? Just to reiterate, you can see that the app has been deployed. We get this deployed to Heroku green tick mark. If you click on the view button, you can get the URL for your backend. This is where your backend is hosted. Um, in your Agora app builder folder here, you have a config.json file. Open that in any text editor that you like. Once you have that file open, this is what it would look like. And inside the backend URL, next to the backend URL, you have an empty quotation marks. Just go ahead and paste that URL here. Does that make sense? Has everyone done that? Once you've done that, in your terminal that you opened inside your app builder folder, just type in npm install, and this would download the CLI and go through the build process for your front end as well as your backend in case you want to deploy it yourself. We wouldn't need the backend here. We're just concerned with the front end build of it. I'm unable to look at the questions or comments at the moment. I'll get to all the questions in just a second. Once the npm install command completes, this might take a few seconds or maybe like a minute for you. Once it's done that, you can type in npm start. The commands are npm install and npm start. You'll see these spinners processing the package. So we're building the front-end boilerplate at the moment. Please bear with me. I'll get to all the questions in just a second once we've gone through this process. We'll give it a few seconds. It's installing dependencies. Once we've done that, we'll get the MLH folder that you can see here. Inside this is where your front-end part of your application contains all its files. It's getting populated by the CLI as we speak. So we'll give it a few more seconds for it to process. Just to catch up, we've downloaded the zip. We've extracted the zip into a new folder. Once inside the folder, we've opened a terminal, and we've edited the config.json to contain our backend URL that we've obtained from Heroku by clicking the view button here. This is our backend URL. We surround it with quotes and put it next to the backend URL field in the JSON. You can use any code editor for this, or just your notepad would work fine. Once you've done that, open a new terminal in that directory or in that folder and type in npm install, give it a few seconds. Once it's done that, type npm start and give it a few seconds. This would fetch all the packages that are required for our application. It says no icon was specified in the config file. That's perfectly fine. And everything else looks good. So we can go inside our front end folder and we can do npm run web. And if we did everything correctly, we should see a development preview of our application. So fingers crossed. In case you've missed out on any steps, you can read through the build guide. We've got in-depth documentation on how you can uh, go through each step. So if I can increase the size, you'll see that the preview that we had for our application, we now have it running on a local host. Let's say we want to create a meeting. Let's call it MLH. Sorry about that. MLH test, and click on create meeting. This queries a backend and gives us a URL. Since we haven't deployed it on a real web server yet, we're getting the URL which looks like this. This is still usable. So for example, let's enter as a host. This is the pre-call screen that I was talking about. You can select your different input devices, type in your name. Once you click on join room, you can see yourself here. And if the other user joins using the link, let's call user 2, join room, and we already have a video call application set up. So good job, everyone. If you've caught up till here, huge congratulations. You just built your first RTE app. And all the features that we discussed are still here. We can go to group chat, type in a message that should appear here like that. And you can do screen sharing, mute your video, end the call, and everything that you expect works the way it does. So I'm quickly going to stop screen sharing and take in questions. Or before that, let's look at how we can deploy this to Vercel. So if you have a Vercel account, or if you have a Netlify or Vercel account, you can deploy this using the CLI, or you can just drag and drop the files to the hosting. So I'm going to show you how to do that with Vercel here. Let's do npm run web :build. That's the command. It's npm. Hopefully you can see that. Once it's done that, it'll give you a folder called dist. Once you go into that dist folder, you can just type Vercel. If you have the CLI installed, you can just select yes, select your scope, that should be default. Do not link it to an existing project, call it MLH demo, and oops, we cannot have hyphens. Sorry about that. Yes, Ikansh, nope, MLH demo, and that should set it up. Cool, we'll come back to this. Let me stop screen sharing for a second and take in some questions. Kriyaga asks, we have to run the same CMD commands at the same place where we have the config file. That's absolutely correct. Once you've downloaded your zip from App Builder website, you can type in npm install and npm start where you have your config file after you've updated your backend URL using the Heroku deployed link. And then you should be able to follow the rest of the steps. Npm start What is the limit of participants currently in this app? Currently, the app supports 17 participants, and you can customize it to go over that limit. Um, is anyone else stuck that maybe we can go over the process again if you like? If you're getting errors, please make sure you've installed Git and Node.js that we talked about at the start of the session. Um, the links for that, I can show you the links for that as well. And then you can run npm install and npm start again, and everything should work for you. So you can see the link for that on the screen now. Someone's asking what to do after copying the link from Heroku into the JSON file. Save that file and type npm install. Once that's processed, type npm start. Joy, you can find the links on the screen right now. Any other questions? Or if anyone else needs help, I'd love to assist you with that. Someone's asking to repeat the commands. I can share that with you as well. Just give me one sec. Stop screen. These are the commands that you're supposed to enter once you've unzipped the package. Please make sure you have Git and Node.js installed for anyone who didn't catch that. Once you've installed Node.js, just go to your project directory, open a terminal. After you've updated your backend URL, just type in npm install, wait for it, npm start. Someone's asking where to add Heroku link in the unzipped file. Let me type that out for you. Edit config.json, add backend URL. And let's just move that to the top. You can use the LTS release for Node.js. It can take some time for it to install Ohm, because it depends on how fast your internet connection is. We're getting quite a few packages from the registry, so it can take a few minutes for it to get everything. Please be patient, give it some time. Once you've done npm install and npm start, the process should be super straightforward and like super simple. And yeah, just be patient and let it get all the packages downloaded that those are required. Yes, the backend URL is what you obtained from Heroku, and you have to update it in your config.json. Once you download the zip and unzip that, once you download the zip and unzip that, you'll find a folder called Agora App Builder. If you go inside that folder, you'll find the config file, Atul Thomas. Dexter Puru, did you install or did you do npm install first? Um, if you're getting error, just please make sure that run the command npm install successfully. I can show you what the backend URL looks like. Just give me 1 second. This is what the backend URL looks like for me. Yeah, once you've ran npm install, give it a few seconds and let the once you've done npm start, let it create the front end boilerplate if that's what it's doing. That might take a few minutes. Please be patient. Um, you can leave the front end URL blank, Adam. That's completely fine. Just to show you what the demo would look like. Finally, let me just screen share. Hopefully you can see my screen. 1 sec. Um, this is the link that I've deployed to Vercel. And now if we create a meeting, you'll see that we get access to the correct links. You can take a look at the demo as well if you're having issues. Yes, 32-bit version of Node.js should be perfectly fine. Shivam, you have to go to appbuilder.agora.io and go through the GUI for building a project. It's pretty straightforward. And once you've got the zip, you can then follow the rest of the instructions. Is there anything else I can help with? Otherwise, we have I would request William to get ready. We'll have like a short information about the students program that we have and the Agora community. I see a lot of people talking about watching the live streams from schools. So I think that can be a great opportunity for everyone who's involved. Let me screen share. Hey,
Cool.
William.
Hello, hey Kanch. Yeah, thank you, Kanch, for the great workshop. I hope, although like some of you guys running issues, I hope like most of you guys are following along. Again, like if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at devrel at agora.io or join us on our Slack channels. We have our teams there to support you if you have any question regarding this. I know we only have like very limited times, but thank you, Ikansh, for a great workshop. I want to spend the last few minutes to quickly talk about the student programs. So I know like most of you guys are still like currently the students at school. Two of the programs that we have right now, number one is definitely like Agora Superstars. Actually, in fact, Econj is actually graduated from the Agora Superstar program and eventually get to work with us full time after graduations. So essentially, that's the elite program that the developers get to write tutorials and to lead the community. But more importantly, if you really want to learn more about Agora technology, we have this great Agora certificate program, which we will teach you to learn web development and build a video chat web app from scratch in only 4 sessions. And we have the latest, we have a new cohort coming up in April, the first 2 weeks of April. And we are also giving out free access code, which is worth $50 per person. If you filled out the forms below, you can also scan the QR code to do that. And we will teach you step by step how to build a video chat web application by yourself. And then by the end of the program, you will also get a certificate, and we will also allow you to plant a tree at the reforestation projects that we partner with. So a lot of exciting programs that we have right now. Please feel free to reach out to us for more information. And last but not least, Ikansh, if you want to go to the next slide. We are also really interested in learning what you guys have built, either from this workshop or maybe after these sessions, you guys want to build upon the RTE app builders. Let us know. Like, please feel free to fill out this quick form and let us know what you have built using the great technologies that we have. And we want to give you guys a shout out. We want to showcase your project on the social media, on a blog post, and who knows, maybe if your application has a really good potential, we will invite you for more collaborations, and a lot of exciting motions in exciting programs in motions. And please fill out this form and let us know what you have built. And that's pretty much it. I will give it back to you, Ikansh.
Thank you so much, William. I definitely recommend all of you to, if you can, or if you're interested in web technologies, and if you're interested in, if you're interested in building video or audio engagement apps, definitely check out the community program that we're running. I'm gonna paste. I'm gonna paste in the links for that and all the other links that we discussed throughout the presentation. You will be able to find them here. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us on devrel@agora.io. If you have questions about the community program, you can send an email to community@agora.io. And you can also join a Slack channel in case anyone who's still unable to launch the app or build the app. We'd love to help you and sort out any issues with your project that you're facing. Um, if there's any last questions, we'll take those, and we're almost on time, so we'll quickly wrap up. I'm told we have the leaderboard after this session. So the check-in code for that for this session is Agora-MLH. I can type that out for you. Any other questions? Again, I would request you to please fill in the form and get connected with us. And we'd love to see what you built, even if it's like a cool color combination and a cool illustration. We're all for it. We'd love to see what you guys built. I've put the code in the chat. Just making sure we're not missing out on questions. If that is it, thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this session. I hope some of you would have learned about Agora and would be interested in discovering more. And a good place would be on our docs website. You can look through developer resources, find out how we built App Builder, and find out how you can build your own apps apart from the one that we showed you. In case you want to get in touch, drop us an email. Um, yeah, thank you so much for having us, and really excited to see what you guys have made.